This is exactly what Mama needs. Look at that beautiful crema. Ooh. Yes, you're getting hopped up on espresso, Greta, today, because it's one of those days. We got a lot to do. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Greta. If you're new here, if you are a subscriber, thank you. I so appreciate you. If you like this content, please don't forget to give a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Whew. So let's get into this. I have for you another vanilla list. I try to update the vanilla list every year or so because I just get exposed to more, but I absolutely love vanilla fragrances, and there's a lot of them. And I mean, vanilla fragrances are 7 ways to Sunday, plain vanilla to a complex with a prominent vanilla note kind of fragrance. There's so many. Whew, and I'll never get tired, and I want them all. I want them all. I love the note vanilla. It is actually the most popular note. So the way I broke this up, and I have two parts that I'm gonna do here. This is gonna be straight vanillas, where it's really vanilla and, you know, different tones to vanilla, but really a pretty much solo vanilla. I will have an additional video, I'll do a part 2, and it's gonna be more complex vanillas, which are really great come fall. But this one, I have 15 here, and I have 15 in that one, and 30 is a lot of vanillas. And it was really hard for me to pick my 30 favorite. Can you believe this? Like, forget about top 10. So anyway, let's get into this one. Whew, okay, where should we start? Let's start with one of my favorite houses. House of Sillage has a few vanilla fragrances, but the one that's probably the most just vanilla, it's really like a vanilla musk with a little Divana in there, and it's the Wonder Woman 84. If you have the previous version, they are like 90% similar. If you really pay attention, there's a little bit of a difference, but they're primarily, for the most part, pretty much the same because I have both. But there are some little minute details, and on skin, I mean, but they made them pretty much the same. It's definitely more of that musky vanilla, sweet vanilla that's in here. I just love that sweet, smooth vanilla. More like a smooth cake vanilla versus like a caramelly kind of vanilla. I absolutely love this one. It definitely gives you a hug while you're wearing it. It's not too heavy. I have worn it in the summer, so the hug it gives you is not too, it's not too suffocating kind of a claw. It's got a moderate kind of longevity to it, and then it just kind of crawls in closer to you is what it does. But I absolutely love the Wonder Woman 84. Next up, this one is kind of dancing that line. It's pretty much vanilla, but it's not necessarily just vanilla, and it's by Precious Liquid, and it's Vanilla Orchid. This one is such a pretty one, especially for spring and summer. When you want a vanilla, you want it a little lighter of a vanilla, even though it's a strong fragrance and it does have longevity. It's not this overwhelming thick vanilla. So pretty. It opens actually a little sweet with berries, and then it dries down to a beautiful gentle vanilla, a light vanilla with a little bit of orchid flower and just a touch of powdered sugar in there, like a little bit of a sugared orchid in there. But it's really this vanilla with a little bit of a floral essence. This one is so pretty. It's such a beautiful fragrance. I wish this one got more attention because it is a stunner. It is still on the website. I did think for a while that it wasn't there because I couldn't find it, but you can find it. I bought this last year or the year before. I think the year before at Scent Explore when they were doing some good discounts. I think I got this for like $50 at that special. And it was just, I had a sample of it that came in the swag bag, and I was just like, yes, I need that, especially at that price. This is a no-brainer. And it's just, absolutely love this one. Could spray this all over me and you'll have a beautiful feminine trail. The next one is pretty popular, and it's Kylie Vanilla 28 28, the number at the end, I don't know if y'all know or not, but the number at the end means how many formulations they went through until they were done. Perfumers make a perfume, they go through different versions until they settle on that final version. So this was 28 versions. Not too bad. This one is a deeper, darker, richer vanilla, almost getting into like a boozy vanilla. It's definitely like on the border of the kind of vanilla that I even like, because it really goes into that deep, dark, boozy vanilla, which isn't always my favorite. This is great for layering. In fact, pretty much this list is great for vanilla, for layering. I get it often when I say, you know, that fragrance doesn't have any sweetness to it, layer it with a vanilla to kind of give it that aspect. This is that list, because people ask me, well, what vanilla? This is that list of vanillas that are great to layer with when you want to add that sweetness to it or give a fragrance more of a feminine tone if it's a little too masculine. Vanilla has a way of doing that and kind of bringing a fragrance back into the middle. But that is Kayali Vanilla 28. This is one of my original favorite vanillas. It's by Maison Francis-Kurkdjian and it is Gentle Fluidity Gold. Polar opposite from silver, even though it's the same notes. This one is more of a powdery woody vanilla. It really gives that kind of powdery radiation from this fragrance, giving it a really cozy feel. This is just one I will always love. I actually carry, I have this in the atomizer also because I have that travel size discovery kit and it's always in my purse. I keep like a quart size Ziploc bag with a bunch of decants in my purse, decants in travel sizes, so that God forbid if I leave the house and forget fragrance or need a touch up or change of pace, I always have something to pick from in my purse. It's just kind of how I am. It works. But anyway, this one, the travel size is in my purse because it's such an easy one to just grab and put on, and it's comforting and it's appealing to people, and it's just, it's really cool. It's such a smooth, powdery, comforting fragrance. Gentle Fluidity Gold. Next one is also super popular. This one has been in my collection for a while. I do have a new bottle of it, and it is Note Vanille. This one, and they've changed the bottle a couple times. I'm really liking this one, this version with the little stones here. It's so pretty, and the ornate sides. I actually love this version bottle. Note Vanille. Oh yeah, they used to have it like in a cube bottle, the Note Vanille. I like this way better. Man, this one is good. This is such a solid vanilla, Note Vanille. It's once again a woody vanilla because I just love woody vanillas. It opens as a more fresh vanilla, but it settles down to a beautiful, warm vanilla that has a touch of those rum kind of notes, but it doesn't get as deep and dark as Kayali does. I like the way they do this a little bit better. It just has a more elegant feel to it versus a deep, dark, rich, boozy kind of vanilla. The sandalwood kind of keeps it a little creamier and lighter also. I just love this one. It's so intoxicating. Another one that is great for layering. I actually prefer layering with this over Kayali. I think I'm one of the only people that doesn't over abuse like layering Kayali on everything. It's just not the one I choose when I do that. There's a couple others in here that I use too, but this one is so beautiful. Micaleff has such a way of staying, you know, they keep that French kind of, that French fashion to the perfumes where they're very light and ethereal and elegant and whimsical, and there's just something more demure about them. They don't make beasts, but they certainly have longevity, and I just love that style. I think it's such an elegant style the way they do it. So Note Vanille by Micaleff. Great ones to layer. One that I definitely, boy do I abuse this puppy, is the Mancera Royal Vanilla. I'm not the biggest fan of Mancera and Montal. I just feel like they have this top note that I just find a little bit abrasive, but I do have the dapper version to it, which I find a lot smoother and incredible longevity and such a solid vanilla. This is just such a solid vanilla for layering. It kind of teeters on that baked goods vanilla. It's not an overly juvenile baked goods, but it certainly has that cupcake vanilla kind of feel to it. It's so good. This is definitely a beautiful, sweet, kind of like leans into that confectioner's sugar kind of sweet vanilla that I just really love. This one is amazing for layering and just going with everything. This is that vanilla that you can never go wrong with. And again, when it's a dapper, I can just go ham. I can layer this with everything and I don't really worry about that pricing. It's probably, the end of the day, probably the same pricing per ml as a good discount price on a Mancera. I just like the quality better in this, believe it or not. I know, believe it or not, I like this better. And I can just buy it in 30 mLs because I'll never go through that 120 ml. Dapper's Mancera Royal Vanilla. One I don't hear enough about is by Profumo Roma. I absolutely love this Italian house. They have incredible fragrances. I have quite a few now, probably like 12, plus some additional decants and samples, but Vanitas. This to me is another one of those perfect vanillas. This one is vanilla with, it has some myrrh in it. It kind of leans into that side of the woody vanilla that, man, the top has a little bit of this orange essence to it. So it's kind of like an orange hued vanilla that really leans into that woody aspect, but it's still just this vanilla. They tend to be very straightforward fragrances, they're not really known for their blending. They're known for being high in oils, incredible longevity, scent bubble for 24 hours. Like, it's insane how long these last, and they will give you a killer sillage too. I mean, it's just remarkable what you get from these Profumo Romas. They do recommend, because they're so high in oils, that when you spray it, to kind of rub it in just a little bit. It's the one house that does recommend that, so that you don't stain your clothing or ruin anything by it soaking up that oil. They're just so incredible. This one, man, it has a hint of powderiness to it, giving it just this vanilla that comes to life. I love Vanitas. Highly recommend this one. Another one of my absolute favorite vanillas that is just always on the forefront of my brain, because it really has been a favorite of mine pretty much since it released last year in 2021. And it's by Dior, Maison Dior, the Privé line, and it is Vanilla Diorama. Absolutely love this one. I'd always wanted a bottle. I actually have a decant. It's actually, I think, my second or third decant, truth be told. I love this one. It is a vanilla, but it's a fancy vanilla. It's truly vanilla, but it has these spices in there where it's actually meant to be much like the dessert that was always made for him. There's a special dessert that was always made for François Tomavicci, and this fragrance was meant to emulate that dessert, which was a dessert made just for him by a shelf. So nobody knows this dessert, doesn't even really have a name. Maybe it's Vanilla Diorama, I don't know, but this is meant to smell like it. And it is such a beautiful, spicy, woody vanilla, but it's really vanilla. It just has these essences of woody and spicy kind of sprinkling it and giving it its own little spin, but it's truly a vanilla. And it's just done so well. I absolutely love this one. It will always be one of my favorite vanillas. It's just phenomenal, and I can never get enough of it. I don't know, maybe I will get the whole big bottle, like the giant one. I don't know. I go back and forth on that. It's been on my list, but I don't know. I really had no problem adding this to my cart and just grabbing it for like $30. So so at least I had some while I still contemplated. Do you guys do that? Do you ever do that? Like stuff like that? I don't know. I like go back and forth, and in the meantime, small doses, because I have so much juice, but I don't know. I really do like that one. And there is something to having the real thing. I don't know. We'll see. Whew. I mean, I know you guys would be upset if I didn't mention this one. Tahota by Indult. This is a really good one too. Tahota is, again, this really like pure vanilla. It's really about the vanilla and honoring vanilla. There's a little bit of powderiness and muskiness to it, but it's really just propping up the vanilla note. This one is so beautiful and such an elegant, sweet vanilla. It's not too strong or deep. It's that perfect little balance of not too fleeting and not too deep and rich and boozy, that it's this beautiful, perfect vanilla. It's really hard not to like Tahota. This is such a beautiful, beautiful vanilla. I first was told about Tahota about a year and a half ago by subscribers when I had done a vanilla list and I had asked for additional recommendations. And I was just expanding my vanilla collection. That is where I found out about Profumo Roma. It was from subscribers. This is why I love you guys. You told me about Dulcis in Fundo. That's where that referral to Dulcis in Fundo is where I fell face first. Really plowed through that house of Profumo Roma was from a early on subscriber, and then also Tahota, which made me search that one too and get that and pick that one up. So thank you, you guys. You guys are amazing. We all feed off each other, so I love your recommendations. Another super popular one is by Guerlain, and it is Spirituis Double Vanille. This is a classic. I know everyone panicked about this when they were reformulating their packaging and coming up with new bottles. I still have the old flat rectangular ones, which I actually kind of like. They're not as pretty, but they stack really nicely on the shelf, I have to admit. And then you have like a bookend, you have the nameplates on the side. This one is a beautiful ambery vanilla. It actually really kind of booms a little bit more and gives you that projection. I love vanilla and benzoin together because that benzoin kind of gives you that radiating kind of fragrance, where this one will really project on you. It does open with a little bit of incense and pink peppercorn, which I also really like. So it gives these dimensions to the vanilla while keeping it truly about vanilla. Absolutely love Spirituis Double Vanille. Next one is from a house I discovered a year or two ago. I think it's actually been 2 years now. First was referred to it by Alan at Beverly Hills Perfumery, who told me you need to check out this house. It is totally your style. And then my wonderful subscriber, Steve, cannot pronounce his last name for the life of me. He knows this and he's told me how to pronounce it. I know how to spell it, but I can't pronounce it. He's in Taiwan and he was so kind to send me a decant from Taiwan to here in California of their Osmanthus fragrance, which he was right. I absolutely love. And then I started looking at it and then got sidetracked and then got some more samples from this house. And I finally started grabbing some bottles. This is a newer one from 2020. Absolutely love this fragrance, and it is Vanille to Tahiti by Perris Monte Carlo. Obviously, this family is from Monte Carlo. I think they've now moved their company to France, but they are a Monte Carlo family. They're all about the raw materials, and they do some of the most elegant, exquisite work. There's several that I really like. I think I'm probably gonna do a house overview or my favorites from the house of Perris Monte Carlo, because I have been looking at them for like a year or two and I haven't told you about them. So I need to. When it comes to vanilla, there's different varieties of vanilla. One of the most vibrant of those vanillas is the variety Vanille Tahitis. It has this certain kind of tropical flair to it without being a tropical fragrance. It does have a ylang in there, which does, it is a tropical floral, so it does kind of give that kind of aura along with that vanilla Tahitensis. It does have that tropical kind of flair along with this variety of vanilla. There's a little bit of chambaca in there as well. But again, this is about that variety of vanilla with those florals a little more on the top. It does dry down and it's more of this beautiful, creamy, silky, musky, sandalwood vanilla. A little bit of amber that really gives it a little bit more heft to it, because when it comes to using all these naturals, they tend to be a little bit more transparent and a little bit less in longevity. But man, this one is so good. Oh my goodness. It's such a beautiful, delicate, whimsical vanilla that is just Man, I love this one. I fell head over heels when I tried this one, and it was so hard waiting. I had lots of samples and then finally got my hands on the bottle. And I gotta tell you, I'm just in love. And I do have a few more bottles that I want because this house has some serious bangers in it. They are exquisite and definitely my style. So let me know if you've tried this one because it's, what, 2 years old, I think it's been out. Benigna Diptyque. Come on, just the name. Who doesn't like that name? Now, how could I leave out what's known as the best vanilla in the world by EBK, Ruby and Vanilla Intense. There are 3 variations to this fragrance. Actually, I take that back 4. There is the original that is discontinued, then there is the Intense, then there is the Neroli, and then there is the Oud. The Ruby and Vanilla Oud, the Ruby and Vanilla Neroli. This one I feel is the most pure to vanilla. That vanilla even kind of works into an almondy kind of, the almond kind of richens up this vanilla. This is a more syrupy, deep, rich, decadent vanilla. Probably not what you want in the middle of the summer. I would go to Neroli, where it kind of breaks it open a little bit. The Oud, I think, is my favorite of them, but when it comes to just a deep, decadent vanilla, you can't beat this. The beautiful red here is a tribute to the Opera House that is all in red as well. And that is literally what this is, your decadent, beautiful vanilla you would wear to the opera. It's such an incredible vanilla. There's a little bit of a floral hue to it, but it really is this syrupy, beautiful vanilla with the almond richening it up. It's just decadent. I love this one, but you've heard me wax poetic and I have a whole dedicated video just to this fragrance, so I'm not gonna go too into it. This one I've had for a while, but I don't think I've talked about it in a while either. And it is by Van Cleef & Arpels Orchidée Vanille. Ooh, this is a beautiful one. It is more of a skin scent, which is why I don't wear it as much. It really rides close to my skin, and I tend to like them to project just a little bit more, give me a little bit more of a bubble. But there is something so demure and beautiful and elegant about this one. It's a beautiful, sweet, powdery, just gives you the most confectioned skin that you could possibly have. It does make your skin edible and something somebody wants to snuggle up to. This one has been out for a while. I think most people know about it. It's been out since 2009. Some people get a chocolatiness from this. On my skin, I don't get too much of that chocolatiness, but I do get this beautiful, like musky, powdery kind of confectioned vanilla with a hint of floral. It does have that orchid in there, which gives it that beautiful kind of delicate floral. You know, a stripped down version of this is that precious liquid because it's really the vanilla and that orchid and a little bit of that sweetness, that sugariness coming from something. This is a little bit more complex, and actually this sits closer than the precious liquid also, Orchid Vanille. But I do like this one. It has that tonka bean creaminess, but I do wish this one bounced off my skin a little bit more. It is a little fleeting and does ride a little close to me. Is really the reason I don't pick it up as much, but Orchidée Vanille. Now this is one I certainly resisted liking for a long time. I have had a large decant of this for a year and a half and have resisted it, and then went to the mall and was like, you know what? I was just there like last month and was like, all right, let me take a look at this thing. I mean, I've had a decant all this time and just never picked it up, never smelled it, and was like, I'm not crazy about that brand. I don't know. Oh, and it's by Diptyque and it's Eau de Well. So, and it's actually a beautiful vanilla. I like that it's not as deep and rich and boozy as that Kayali. Like I said, it does have this ambery vanilla, kind of getting into that boozy, but there's no alcohol in there, just that rich ambery, creamy kind of boozy. When I say boozy, I just mean that like more viscous kind of vanilla. It does give a little bit, a very little bit undertone of that muskiness, kind of powderiness to it. But to me, it's really this ambery vanilla with a little bit of spice to it. It does have bourbon vanilla in it. It is a more boozy feeling variety of vanilla. And that's what it gives, that creamy kind of viscous kind of vanilla. And it is quite good. I have to admit, and this is a great layering vanilla too, Eau d'Oel. The last one's newer to me, and it's by Chabaud Parfums, and it is Fire at Will. It's from 2021, and it's getting a little bit of attention on Instagram, so I did get the opportunity to try this one. I have the coolest friends ever. This one will bounce off your skin. This one she makes herself known. This is a beautiful, sweet vanilla. It has a little bit of yellow florals in there, but it really is more about the vanilla. It's an ambery, musky vanilla. It's got that going on. It's got that brown sugar kind of sweetness in here, which gives it that like molasses kind of hue to the vanilla. This is beautifully done where it really just gives it that viscous kind of feel to the vanilla and really sweetens it up. This one, if you want your more elegant beast, is what this is. It definitely will bounce off your skin. Whew. I had a hard time when I was trying this along with some others, and this was all I could smell. It was like all about Fire at Will. I was like, holy cow. Do they all smell like Fire at Will? Or is this one just really loud and overbearing on and it was just like, that was what I could smell. And it's the most beautiful vanilla. Oh my gosh. I think I need a full bottle of this one because it's stunning. Like I said, I want to own all the vanillas. I want to own all the vanillas. Do you want to own all the vanillas? Like, can you get enough vanilla, or am I just crazy train over here? Because I love vanillas. They're just such an easy pleaser for me. Anyway, those are the 15 that are primarily like vanilla. These are not overly complex where vanilla is just a main player. Vanilla is the star here. This is all about vanillas and everything else just propping up the vanilla. I will do another one with more complex vanillas. Vanilla is just a main player, team player. And let me know down below some other vanillas that you like. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Mwah.